try and put some pressure. He'll know Nicholas is under the gun and he's making mistakes himself.
It is not over yet, not with the tendency of Darren Appleton to never wave that white flag. 8-5 over there in favour of Nicholas Doer, and we'll continue to update you with the scores as the day goes on. Now, already on the main table, we've seen Fraser Patrick and Carlo Biardo have very convincing wins. Our next match is Elliott Sanderson against Gary Wilson. Looking forward to this, Carl, two real characters.
Yeah, I had no clue what match I was commentating on for the first match of midday, so this is a pleasant surprise. Two fellas I know very well. When Gary's at the tournaments, I spend a lot of time with him, go out for a couple of beverages and food. I was with Gary and Robin, his wife, last night, having a laugh. He's a funny character, he likes to have a bit of fun. Elliott, talented lefty, but he's not quite done it just yet. He's trying to pave his way into the pro game. As I said, he's very talented. Maybe just lacks consistency, but he's got a shot here on the yellow one ball in this side pocket. It's actually not a bad layout.
In the first match he played here, he defeated Dan Sir 9-2. I actually watched a little of Gary Wilson's opening match around an hour ago. He beat Oman's Mubarak Al-Wahabi. It was 6-6, and then Wilson got the business done in the crunch.
Felt he had to play a cannon there because the opening shot, he actually played it with drag and didn't get on the two ball right. He's a lefty, so he can reach this. It's going a little bit close to the four. Yeah, is this why Elliott is not consistent? Cue ball's been a bit loose. He's only played 2 or 3 shots. So this is a bit of a reach, even with the bridge, and it's actually quite thin, this. What makes this shot harder is the fact that he didn't get on it perfect. First 2 shots have gone wrong and left him this little thin one with a bridge. Well recovered though, back in prime spot.
Spoke to Elliott earlier today and he told me he was very tired, and I'll explain why at the end of this rack. But being on the main table against Gary Wilson will definitely get the juices flowing, get the adrenaline going.
Yeah, it's amazing what winning the first rack can do for you. You just feel like you're in the game, you just feel like you're in the match. That's what's so hard about 9 ball. Sometimes you can play a couple of safety shots, maybe not even get to the table, and you can be 3 or 4-0 down. Anyway, a little bit scary in the opening 2 shots, but it was a beautiful positional shot with a bridge. And Sanderson, with a break and run, takes rack 1.
This is going to be a very keenly contested match, I guess, given their respective success on the World 9-Ball Tour so far. Wilson's had some really good wins. Sanderson has got plenty of experience of being out there in front of the TV cameras, having represented GB twice in the World Cup alongside Jason Shaw. And last year they got to the the quarterfinals. The reason he's tired, Elliott Sanderson, he's the house pro at McGoldrick's Sports Bar, which last weekend housed the very successful Jacoby Scottish Open, one of countless ranking events now on the World 9-Ball Tour. Obviously, with his responsibilities up there, he spent an awful lot of time in the club, and he was telling me on consecutive days he worked 18-hour shifts.
Yeah, he did a phenomenal job, him and Paul Corrigan, the owner of McGoldrick's. I actually went up there, Phil, and played in the event, because I know it's such a fantastic club, and I know Paul and Elliott very well, so I wanted to support the event. And only 7 tables, and the field was one of the strongest tournament fields I've ever seen for a pool hall. So that just shows you the pros know what a good club McGoldrick's really is.
Well, in terms of the whole United Kingdom, has to be one of the very best. And although he's living in Scotland now, Sanderson is originally from Barnsley in Yorkshire.
Yeah, that's why he's got a bit of a funny accent when you speak to him. He's a nice kid, though. He's funny as well.
Well, he's known as the Shouter, and he's promised me that if he does win this match, he will let out a trademark shout. I can tell you the Darren Appleton fight back, I'm afraid, did not materialise. Nicholas Doer comes through 9-5.
2-rail kick. There's quite a lot of balls to get the hook. Just found a little gap. But you could see why he went that route. Gary had a little bit of a scare in his opening match about an hour ago. He come through 9-7, but at 8-7, his opponent, Phil, had the 8 and 9 on. Very basic, and he missed the 8 ball. Actually, Gary got down and played a lovely long 8 ball and then slotted the 9 home for the win. That's why he's playing Elliott Sanderson right now. Again, it's all these balls in the middle of the table. That's why he sent the 2 ball behind the purple 5 and 9. Cue ball over to the pink 4. That's all you can do, just play a good safety shot.
And he's well equipped for that, because on the snooker tour, he's known and respected for his ability to lay snookers. He wins a high percentage of frames when he requires snookers. Not in real terms, but in comparative terms to the other players. And the hook he laid there looks like paying rich dividends.
Yeah, playing good safeties, you don't always get away with it, but it's so important. Look how close the cue ball got as well. That was frightening. So the fact that Gary played a good safety meant that Elliott could hit the 2, so he gets ball in hand, 1 shot, put the cue ball anywhere you want. Elliott's one of them players, Phil, where he sits in the chair and his face tells a story. He will tell you how he's feeling. Green 6 ball for Gaz, and the purple 5. Well, he can slide round the back of the purple 5. As long as he gets the right angle on this pink 4, but he has slightly overrun position, so he's going to have to get into the cue ball well here. He's actually done well. He's not landed great on it, but he actually got into the cue ball nicely. Obviously, Gary comes from the world of snooker, where you use, you know, a 1-piece cue, about 9.5 mil. I know Gaz has got about 50 cues within pool cues this week, so he's going to be chopping and changing in between.
He has a genuine love affair with pool. Over the last few months at tournaments, I've been chatting to him and I asked him if he was going to play here, and he said, of course, no doubt. The one thing about Wilson, though, he's very self-critical. He doesn't like making mistakes. He made a few in the first match, even though he survived it. And there's another ball that's gone astray that will get under his skin. I think it's fair to say that of all the snooker players over the last few years who've tried their hand at 9-ball on the World 9-ball Tour, Wilson has been the best of the lot. That wasn't the best shot that Sanderson's ever played.
It's actually a really good effort, that, and he has cut off the pot, so that is a really clever, good shot. Not easy, that. He had no room for error at all.
Yes, he couldn't even afford to graze the paint on the 8-ball, had to miss it by the most minuscule margin.
Yeah, he was trying to hit it thin. Looks a poor shot, but it's actually quite difficult when you're swerving and you're just trying to clip a piece of the ball as a containing safety shot. Not easy to control the cue ball for Gaz here, because it's quite thin to pot the ball. That's why you see this cue ball flying around the table. Took a bit of a gamble. Wants this to slow down for an easy pot. Yeah, it's not that easy. We're going about these snooker players, these snooker boys. They're going to come and play 9-ball and pot every ball on table, but it just doesn't work like that. It just doesn't work like that, Phil.
3 or 4 years ago, before the pockets were tightened, that might well have fallen in, but not on these.
And the reason is simple. They're not pool players, they're snooker players. The cue, the ball, the way you hit it on a pool table is different to a snooker table. It's not that they're bad players or bad cueists, it's just they don't know how to play pool, Phil. It's just different.
I think it was a myth, certainly on the snooker side of things, that guys could come over and make the immediate transition and become world beaters. That myth has now been well and truly exploded.
See the cue ball there from Elliott. The spin to come down for this 9-ball. Elliott Sanderson is a player who plays on pure confidence. The more he wins racks, the more he gets in front, he can literally blow you away in less than an hour.
As they're re-racking the balls, let me give you some of the latest scores. This is round 1 action. Dimitris Lukatos of Greece leads Alex Montpellier of France 3-1. Jack Whelan from right here in the UK, he's 7-7 with Kwon Ho-jun of South Korea. John Morra has just moved onto the hill against the Rubik's Cube man, Flavien Gallant. He leads 8-5. Not many first-round matches still to be completed, but Riku Rompainen still in action in that round. 3-2 up now on Ronnie Aldervik.
Long pot at the 2. He's got to try and find a gap to get back up for the red 3, I believe it was. Yeah, it is the red 3. Not going to be easy, this. The purple 5, green 6 and 8 ball. Let's see if he can find a gap. Might be able to come in between the 9 and the purple 5. That's not bad. Catching the 5 like that isn't the end of the world.
By the way, Tyson Fury's half-brother Roman Fury defeated 9-2. He was a while ago, but then he came over very close to our commentary desk and we didn't want to say anything because we were too scared. Well, I was anyway.
Well, I wasn't. You might have been. I wasn't scared.
Oh, I'm the coward of the county. Was the inspiration behind that Kenny Rogers song.
No, he seems a nice enough fella, Phil. I think we're safe. Has this shot gone wrong from Elliott? You could just see the cue ball. It just kept rolling and rolling. This needs to keep rolling and rolling. That's not bad. Be happy with that. Real surprised he took it into the middle. Real surprise. I thought he was going to float it up into the top. The pocket will still take it if you hit some of the rail from that angle. Yeah, that is surprising. He's played the wrong shot there. You can't thump them in, Elliott. You know that.
Even with 100% accuracy, it's doubtful whether the pocket would have accepted the green 6 at that pace, that maximum pace. Sledgehammer.
Gaz has played 2 nice pots there. I want to say by nice, it's the pace he's played them. He's giving that rail every chance for the ball to slide in. He's looking like going 3 behind, but he's going to steal one with this 9 ball.
Much needed rack. Tyler Steyer on table 5. He's on the hill, but he's been given a tough assignment by Jaspal Bamotra of India. Steyer leading 8-5. Masato Yoshioka, regular World Cup player for Japan. He's being held to 4-4 by James Lee. Wu Kun Lin, former World Championship semi-finalist, 7-0 up on Tashunka Witko of Spain. These are all first-round matches. Ioniuski getting closer to victory, 7-4 up on Chen Wei Chen. And already round 2 is well underway, and I'll give you the latest scores from that at the end of the next rack. One score from round 2 I'll give you right now because it's pertinent to this. Sanderson or Wilson next will play Benji Buckley or David Al-Kadi, and Al-Kadi has won the first 2 racks. Oh, but you don't, after winning a rack, to gain some momentum, want to scratch in the next.
Yeah, I believe this went straight in off the rail. Let's have another look. Yep, it's a poor break. Whenever you come off that side rail and you send the cue ball straight into the drink, You have to mark it down as a bad one. If you look at probably the best breaker on the circuit at this break, I believe it's Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. He actually arcs the cue ball below the 9. That takes away that scratch in the side, the scratch that Wilson was just demonstrated.
One of the great assets of Gary Wilson, and also one of the things that holds him back, in my opinion. He really is a perfectionist. Yes, he wants results, of course, but his main goal is performance. That's what he wants, top level performance. He hates to make mistakes, he hates to miss balls, whether it's on the bigger table or in 9-ball. Now, later on today, we're going to have a press release
This is what's good about these pockets. That was nowhere near the pocket. They should never go in on any pool table.
The 7 ball proving problematic for both players.
That wasn't a bad shot. It's just so difficult to get back down when it's deep in the pocket.
Realised he needed to hit that one very, very thin, but he did not hit the 8 ball at all.
Well, I'm not going to sit here and slate him for doing that. I do that all the time. It's just such a weird shot, trying to clip a ball thin. How many times do you see top-level Qs do that? Even that was a poor shot to get on the 9. You should be straight. I'm not saying this is hard, but it's harder because of what's happened in the opening 4 racks. Somehow, Elliott Sanderson is 3-2 up.
Yes, indeed, he's back in front. Both players guilty of several mistakes. And we're only in rack 5 of a possible 17. So, Cole, day and a half maybe now in the books for the UK Open. Your highlights so far?
Well, there's only one highlight that stands out, Phil, for me. That's me beating Conrad Yusufson.
The master of modesty. For me, personally, it has to be the Sam Henderson win over Mohamed Soufi. To see a youngster like that, so cool and composed and clearly talented, have a really good win over an established player. I thought that was good to see.
Yeah, joking aside, I think you've hit the nail on the head. I would agree. I've not seen much of Sam play. I've heard good things about young Sam. Obviously, America are desperate for young talent, and he really impressed me. I like his cue action. I can't imagine that really falling down under pressure. I think he pots a good ball. He breaks good. Sign him up for the Mosconi. Why not?
Well, I think there was more than a hint of jest in that statement, Carl, but maybe not this year, but certainly in the future. He's got the credentials, it seems, to kick on. He needs to train on, get loads of experience, but who knows down the line. Rhino, as he's known, might be charging into the biggest team event on the calendar. That was really well played by Gary Wilson. And using there one of the attributes he uses playing snooker. When he's putting side on the ball, English, he's very accomplished. Am I right in saying, Carl, that while we've been talking about the pockets being tightened up for a year or two now, I think these are the tightest we've seen?
Yeah, and let me tell you, Phil, they're actually a bit tighter on the outside tables. There's something always about a TV table. I think it's the lighting, the TV lighting that we put on these TV tables. They're a lot bigger, a lot hotter, and they just speed the bed of the table up a bit. And also, you know, on the day before day one, so the practice day rather, I was getting lost in my words then, practice day, all the tables, the players can practice on them for about 5-6 hours, but nobody plays on the 2 TV tables, so they're still a little bit newer than the others. Oh, he's hit that in the middle of the pocket. Good shot. This match is going back and forth.
Yes, it was 2-2, now it's 3-3, and while they're re-racking the balls, I know this is pool and not snooker, but I think it's important, if you aren't a devotee of snooker, to know just where Gary Wilson stands in the pecking order. He was the World Under-21 champion in 2004, immediately turned professional. Had a spell where he wasn't playing professional snooker. He became a taxi driver in his native Newcastle in the northeast of England. But in recent years, he's made a real impact. 2019, he got to the semi-finals of the World Championship, overcoming the likes of Luca Brissell, Mark Selby and Ali Carter. In 2022, he won his first ranking title, knocked out Ronnie O'Sullivan early in the event, went on to beat Joe O'Connor 9-2 in the final of the Scottish Open. And would you believe, back in December, he successfully defended that title. And then won a third ranking title at the Welsh Open 3 months ago. He beat Martin O'Donnell in the final 9-5. I think his most memorable performance in that tournament was in the semi-finals when he overcame John Higgins 6-4. It was a magnificent display. And in that match, he made a 1-4-7. Not his first, by the way. I think he's had 5 on the tour. And more recently, just about a month ago, he got to the semi-finals of the Tour Championship. He's well inside the top 16 in the world rankings.
He also enjoys playing in the odd 9-ball event to try and compete against the best that we have to offer on the WNT Tour. A little bit thin on the break. That's why the 1-ball didn't go in. Elliott may be tempted in playing a bank shot here. Maybe he wishes he had, because if he's left this, he'll be raging in the chair. Looks like he's queuing down to pot it. Well, that was a big mistake. A quick glance around the table. There's no real work to do, is there? As long as you get from the pink 4 down to the 5, which is easy. Just look where the rest of the balls are. It's literally just connect the dots, this table.
Wilson played a match on one of our main tables in a World 9-ball ranking event where, incredibly, he missed, it was either 3 or 4 9 balls that were quite simple. I think that taught him a lesson in the sense that you can't take anything for granted. I think it sharpened up his concentration.
As soon as he stuck the 1-ball out, you just knew it was going to be rack over. They were all sat over the pocket.
And for the first time, Wilson heads the match. He was 2-0 and 3-2 behind. Now he leads 4-3. And you're not going to believe this, but it's the truth. I was talking to Gary during the Hanoi Open in Vietnam late last year, before he successfully defended his snooker title in Scotland and before the Welsh Open success. And he was saying how dissatisfied he was with his technique, even to the point of saying these words: "I've got the yips. Now, clearly that's not the case. But he sets himself such high standards in terms of his cue action, in terms of the quality of his displays. And as I say, yes, he wants results, of course he does. They pay the bills. But he's very performance orientated.
He's found the sweet spot because the one ball's disappeared. Two balls up top end of the table, so he's going to have to play a bit of a nifty shot here. It does go in both corners, but it's down to where the cue ball goes. That's the problem here. Red 3 ball goes in the bottom right corner. I don't believe you can get on it into the bottom right corner. May have to play safe here. Yeah, it's the safety shot. If he doesn't flick the green, he's going to get in behind balls, which he has done. I wonder if Elliott Sanderson in the previous rack wishes he'd have played that bank shot on the one ball, Phil. It looked to be sitting quite nice for a bank shot. Here comes the short stick.
I always remember Gary Wilson when we were down at the Copper Box in East London last year for this tournament. He was on an outside table. No action going on, just practicing one jump shot after the next. I'm not saying he's outstanding when it comes to that kind of shot, but he certainly got it down to at least a rudimentary level. And now he's got a chance here. The wizard with the Rubik's Cube, Flavien Glont, has gone to the one-loss side of the draw after losing 9-5 to Canada's John Morra.
9-ball pool is played all over the world. If you watch a lot of our events, you've heard myself and other commentators talk about this, and just this event alone, you're talking about Flavien Glont. He won Romania's Got Talent and actually featured on Britain's Got Talent. We've just seen Roman Fury have a dabble at the pool table. Unfortunately got beat. Also at the same time on the next table to Roman Fury was Rob Hart, the brother of famous actor-comedian Kevin Hart.
Yes, and had it not been for injury, we would have had Troy Deeney playing here as well, who soccer fans, football fans around the world know as a Premier League goal-scoring machine.
It's a very versatile game, his pool. It's played all over the world. Obviously different formats, different tables, but I've played them all, Phil. I've seen them all. For me, 9-ball is the most TV viewer friendly. It pops up some pretty good excitement. As Wilson, has he not got on this 7-ball, or is he just checking his angle? I think he's on it. He's just a bit undecided because of the 9-ball. Going 2 rails, he feels like it's coming back towards the 9. So is he trying to draw underneath it? Oh, he played a little stun through the gap. Good shot. Very good shot.
It was. I think that was the percentage play. And it seems to me as though Wilson's growing into this match. Sanderson, the shouter, could be silenced. 5-3. Let's just take a quick run through the scores. Riku Rompainen 5-4 down to Ronnie Aldervik. Joniuski 7-5 up on Chen Wei Chen. Phuong Nam Pham now on the hill against Martin Degler. 8-6. Daniel Corriere is through with a 9-5 win over Jamie Mocock. Also in round 1, Christian Sadea from Romania, more than halfway to victory. 5-1 up on Dimitrios Teriajeves of Lithuania. Masato Yoshioka and James Lee locked together at 5-5. Simon Corral of Poland, he can play, as can his opponent Ivan Coelho of Portugal. 7-6 to Corral. And the Welshman Marcel Price finds himself 6-4 down to Wade Morley.
Just a bit of inconsistency on the break. Look at where the one ball goes. Just catches the point. You can see how accurate players have got to be on that break shot to keep finding the side pocket with that one ball. He'd love to get a good position on this pink 4. Yeah, he's just pointing with his cue because he wants to play the combo to pot the brown 7. Elliott's put himself in a spot in this match because he could have easily been 4-0 up and absolutely flying. So the fact that he's 5-3 down, he's in a battle with the mind, with the brain. Controlled the combo. Green 6 to the 8 ball. He's going to be the key shot now. He wants the cue ball in the centre of the table on the green 6, so he can cut the 6 in and come down the right hand side of the table for the 8. Yeah, I don't like this. Now he's got to sort of draw it towards the 8. It's all gone a bit weird. And you can see that from Sanderson. He's shaking his head. Now he's left this a little bit thinner than he wanted. Good news is if he pots it with a bit of left spin, cue ball will come round the table. And he's playing for the 9 in the same pocket. He's trying to pot the 8 ball. That should do. But there's a bit of distance. This shot's easier if you're right-handed because you can get your hand on the slate. See how his hand's on the rail?
It wasn't clean, but it went in off more than one jaw. That was so badly needed by Elliott Sanderson after Gary Wilson got a 3-rack run. That's been punctuated now. Sanderson's deficit only 5-4. Let me give you some round 2 scores. Chang Yulong 3-2 up on fellow countryman Liu Hui Chan. James Arenas, part of the Filipino World Cup winning duo last year, leads Paul Corrigan 4-0. Fraser Patrick, who whitewashed you at Bingham earlier on our main table, he shared the first 2 racks with Mieszko Fortunski. Oscar Dominguez, twice a runner-up in World 9-Ball Tour ranking events recently in Mexico and Scotland. He's 2-1 up on Jeffrey Rodder. And Georgi Georgiev of Bulgaria, 2-1 up in the early stages of his match with Emil Andrei Gangflo.
Well, this is very messy. One ball at both points. In the middle pocket. Oh, he's caught the 8 and he's signalling it pulled in.
He's one of those individuals, Gary Wilson. His on-table persona isn't like his off-table persona. Off-table, he's laughing, joking, great to be around, totally non-confrontational. On the table, he's so intense.
Yeah, I agree. He looks very serious and he lets his emotion out, but like you say, off-table, he's always laughing, joking, having a bit of fun, always up for doing things away from the venue. We went to Top Golf up in Scotland. He's not a good golfer, man.
And if you're watching in the States, he has got an American connection. He's got relatives in Atlanta, Georgia. He's been to see them and he loves the place.
Elliott played for the 2-9 combo with ball in hand. He completely underhit the shot, so then he had to play safe. So even though Gary's hooked, he'll be delighted to be back at the table kicking at this blue 2. Needs a full hit on the 2. Yeah, good safety shot here. In between the 8 ball and the pink 4 off the rail. He'll want to go closer to the 4 ball with the cue ball and hit it quite hard. That'll straighten it up. You see how he's jacking up? This is to straighten the cue ball up. Oh, he's hit the 4 on the way through. That was bizarre. I've never seen that, you know. A world-class cueist trying to miss a ball but hits it on the way through.
Ever since the loss of the previous rack, it's a case where Wilson's body language has changed, even though he's still in front.
Look at the replay there. He hit the ball on the way through. He may play for the purple 5 in right centre pocket. Yeah, he's coming around to have a look now.
Players at top level have the ability to read their opponent. Sanderson well aware that Wilson not happy right now, so it's all about making the most of your opponent's struggles. There's been a lot of pool in this match that's been tough to forecast. Individual shots, certainly. But I think the scoreline was very easy to predict. A really tight affair with the match ebbing and flowing. And you can't get tighter than 5-5. Now, the winner of this will play either David Al-Kaidi or Benji Buckley. Looks like Al-Kaidi right now, the Spaniard leading 4-1. Jason Shaw, who's playing some really good pool in 2024. He's raced into a 4-0 lead over Kuo Shan Wei. Fitim Haradinaj and Besar Sparhiu. Sparhiu, the Albanian World Cup player, they're 3-3. These are all second round matches Oliver Sholnocki of Hungary just about to start out against Gabriel Vasilashvili. Ralph Souquet, what a career he's had. Well, the veteran from Germany, 3-2 up on Bui Tuong Han. Oscar Dominguez now 3-1 on Jeffrey Rodder. A lot of people will be monitoring the progress of Dominguez this week. Another deep run, and he'll be well on course for the Mosconi Cup recall. Mieszko Fortunski 2-1 on Fraser Patrick. James Arenas having things all his own way. 5-0 ahead of Paul Corrigan.
Two balls dressed up over the side here. He can chop this ball in. There's another look at the break. Hit that nice. Wowzers.
You know, Carl, if you're up in the bleachers and you were thinking about having a $1 or $2 side bet on this with one of your friends, this is the kind of match you would avoid, because it's just impossible to know what's going to happen next from one shot to the next.
Yeah, and the issue is for Elliott, because of what's gone on, he's in that frame of mind now. He knows he's not playing that good. He's making mistakes, but he's in the match, isn't he? It's just weird what a match can do to you, the situation, the pressure. Cue ball needs to slow down, otherwise he's no shot. He's no shot. He could have landed anywhere in the middle of the table.
By the way, I'm not using this as an excuse for that miscalculation from Wilson. He had a big margin of error and he is out of position, so no excuse whatsoever. This is just a separate point. Having seen that cue ball trundle on, it seems to me, even though conditions were good yesterday, the table is a little quicker today. Outside, by the way, it's an absolutely gorgeous day, as it was yesterday. We've had a very poor spring in this part of the world. Seems to have rained every day, but the last couple of days, bright sunshine, and I think the warmth emanated might have quickened up this table.
Nifty little shot is played there. They can be, when the cue ball is close to a pool ball, it's just a shot players don't like, because you can't let your cue arm go right through. So that was very touchy. That's why I missed that 8 ball in the Masters, Phil, that you keep reminding me of every single event we come to.
Well, I've mentioned it on one occasion. You've already mentioned it on 3 occasions.
I'm just trying to educate our viewers. Well, this might turn out lovely for Elliott. Wow, it has done. Now, can Gaz get in behind it, a 2-rail kick? We have an overhead camera just in front of us. There is a gap, so yeah, that's the route, Gaz. Going off the short rail, 1 rail's not really there. This has got to be 2-rail kick and stick. Is it a bit thin? It needs the cue ball to travel up top. It's not bad. It's not a bad leave.
Yeah, he kicked, but he didn't stick. In a match like this, the way things have gone, you always think a mistake will be the decisive element, but maybe it could be some inspiration, and this could be it. Good pot required. Like that, he kept very still.
Yeah, that'll just give him that bit of confidence he needs. A really good pot there, wet and clean as well, so that means you've connected with the cue ball how you wanted. But he's left himself a bit of work to do here. He should be nowhere near the centre of the table, should be over on the right hand side. Now he's got a thin one. He's got to float this in or send the cue ball 4 rails where he can put a bit more of a better stroke on the ball. So he's got the hook. After contact, the ball must hit the rail. That's why you see the referee coming to your screens. He'll be watching this one closely. Yeah, after contacting the yellow one, it touched the rail.
I think the referee might want to stay there. This could be a ticklish little shot. Nothing illegal about that, just effective.
Someone's got to hit a rail here. I presume the one was off the rail. Yep, no problem there.
By the way, just seeing the the roving referee coming in there, I think it's worth saying the team of referees at these events work so hard. They're assigned 4 tables each, and it's a real position of responsibility. Racking the balls, making sure any contentious foul is avoided, keeping the peace on the odd rare occasion. They do a great job.
Yeah, well said, Phil. It's a thankless job, but the players do appreciate the work from the referees. Well, looks like he can play the pot. Watch the cue ball. He's trying to get it on the right-hand side rail off 2 rails. Oh, this looks okay. This looks okay. Well, his heart would have been in his mouth for a few seconds there. Needs to get past the 8 ball, this. Needs to keep going. Looks incredibly straight, this ball, doesn't it? It's going to need a lot of power. Oh, he's missed the 5. He's missed the 5 ball. Where's it going to finish? This is what Elliott has been waiting for. A chance to try and go 2 in front. Both players have had the lead in this match. He's had a bit of everything.
Wilson's spirits are flagging a little. So important that Sanderson makes the most of this.
Yeah, it was a good pot, but he kind of forgot about the cue ball a little bit, didn't he? He didn't really want to load it up with running side, running spin. Safety shot, I believe. Yeah, he's chipping it back rail. Wants this to keep going. Wants it to get to the rail. If the cue ball would have rolled another 2 or 3 inches onto the rail, Wilson would have been in all kinds of bother here. I'm not saying he's still not in all kinds of bother. He's played the bank. This might end up okay though for Gaz. Yeah, it's just going to bounce off the rail. Elliott can play a similar shot to the previous, but he can use the 9 ball and try and get the cue ball back where it is now. That type of line anyway, that type of path. Got to make sure you put the 8 on the top rail though. Oh, I thought he was going to just play 1 rail with the 8. He's playing 2. Got to be careful you don't overhit this. Well, he's a braver man than me. Bringing the 8 ball away from the rail was very dangerous if you don't get the hook.
And that's why safety can sometimes be aggressive.
the blue 2. One ball found the sweet spot on the break. Not easy though, cue ball's near the rail, isn't it? There's so much distance. You just don't, you know, if you don't play 9-ball, you just don't understand how difficult it is to pot this and get the cue ball back up for the red 3. Well, that's out the top draw.
In terms of pure cueing and in terms of difficulty, that's, for me, the shot of the match.
Needs another good one. Oh, he's found the gap here. Has he found the other gap? No, but it's not the worst nudge, is it? It's okay. I'll say it's okay. It's okay if the purple 5 went past the green in the side pocket. It doesn't. Also doesn't go past the 9-ball in the bottom right corner. Gonna play a nice positional shot here. Needless to say, we know how big this rack is to get yourself on the hill. 8-5 lead it would be, or 7-5 Wilson breaking. How big does that sound? Oh, he's plumb there. He's plumb. He's played a beauty. Just up and down a bit, isn't it? Just play a little kill shot. Nice pace. Don't hit it too hard.
Now realising he could claim a very pleasing scalp. He's very ambitious, is Elliott Sanderson. He wants to keep learning, improving, climbing those rankings. And a victory here, I think, would do wonders for his confidence. And as Carl has said, he's a player who's all about confidence.
Yeah, he'll just be happy to get the win in the end, won't he? But let's be honest, it's been pretty poor, hasn't it? There's been a lot of mistakes. But the main thing is getting a W. Regroup, hit the practice table, come back stronger.
And that is a 5 spot. Gary Wilson at his best was 5-3 ahead. 5 racks later, he's in deep trouble with his opponent on the hill. James Arenas 7-1 up on Paul Corrigan. The Filipinos have come here in strength. Same with the players from Chinese Taipei. Chang Yulong 5-4 up on Lu Wei Chan. Mieszko Fortunski 5-2 up on Fraser Patrick. 6-1 now for Oscar Dominguez over Jeffrey Rodder. I don't think I was being over the top, Carl, when I said that he's on course for Mosconi Cup recall at the moment, the way he's building up points.
You always get the sense, don't you, leading into summer, you know, the European players or the Americans who seem to be off to that great start, and without a doubt Dominguez looks like he's going to be the player who'll come through on the points. Obviously, let's not forget the Asian players now, Phil, as well. Reyes Cup for the first time this year. Good break. 2 balls flying around the table. Needs it to hold up so it goes in the side. I think it does, but I can assure you these side pockets are ruthless from this angle. I'm not sure if he played the pot there or what. I can only presume he did, Phil. Do you know?
I think he must have done.
I mean, that's how bad he's played in this match. To not find a jaw there at this level. Usually a player playing into the side would just flick one of the jaws. Gez is still in this match. If you can steal this one with the break at 8-6, the way this match has gone, both players will be feeling it. He's trying to jump off the top rail, kick and stick. Well, that could have been a lot worse, let me tell you. Elliott won't grumble at that because he got lucky himself, didn't he, on the 2-ball. Just got to try and find a good safety now. Just a young man from Barnsley.
Famous sporting town, Barnsley. They played Oakwell, the football team. Lost in the League One playoffs last night to Bolton.
This cue ball is going a bit close to the corner. But it's okay. It's a very good safety shot, to be fair. Wants to be careful. It's easy to miss this ball, and also you can scratch behind it. Yeah, it's easy to miss. Very easy to miss with slide. So Wilson with a chance to get to 8-6. The 8-ball, the 9-ball rather, on the left rail can be a little funny if you don't get plumb on it, Phil.
Yeah, and this is why it's a winner breaks format. No match is ever out of reach. Okay, we've not seen a plethora of break and run outs in this match, far from it. But if this was alternate break, Wilson's chances of winning it would be even more reduced than they are now.
Snooker players, when they play pool, they play the same shots that they play on a snooker table. You know, professional snooker players, when they get in around that black spot and the pink, it's all these little stun shots, isn't it? Trying to mop up the reds and the colours, but pool, usually you're spinning the cue ball around the table.
Yeah, it's muscle memory and brain memory. It's a lifetime of doing one thing, and obviously very difficult to get out of that habit when you switch over to another Q Sports code.
Yeah, whenever you've got a rail shot like this, the cue ball is absolutely perfect where he's left it, because you can get your hand on the slate.
Do not write off Gary Wilson just yet. He was teetering on the brink, he still is, but now Elliott Sanderson's lead reduced to 8-6. Now at the weekend, Carl, you dented Albin Aushen's confidence by beating him 10-4 during the Jacoby Scottish Open. Well, Aushen, double world 9-ball champion, has lost the first 2 racks over on table 19 against Ivo Arts, the Dutchman. James Arenas, though, cruising to victory against Paul Corrigan, it seems. Arenas 8-1 up, and he's one of those players you were mentioning who would desperately love to be in the inaugural Reyes Cup representing Asia on home soil in the Philippines.
Yeah, Albin's not spoke to me since, Phil. Just keeps walking past me, refusing to look at me.
I know the feeling.
That was a little bit lacking of pace. But the beauty with this break rule is because you're cutting across the balls, the 2-ball flies around the table because it's on the back there. You feel like, not always the case, but when you hit the break bad, the balls can come out a little funky, and that's what's happened here. Well, he's gone for the pot there. He did not play this safety if it goes behind the 2. Missed the pot by a long way. It's a good score line, he's 8-6. The player on 6 is very much still in the game, just because if you win the rack at 8-6 to go 8-7, that just feels like hill. So, you know, the player on 8 is just as much under it as you may be, under the pressure cooker.
Now, talking about pressure cookers, don't forget, today at 6 o'clock UK time, Moscone Cup tickets will be on priority sale. To sign up to priority, do so via the WNT live scores. Also VIP packages, gold, silver, for the annual transatlantic tussle that is Europe against the USA. This year, it's going to be in Orlando, Florida. We're going to the Sunshine State, not too far from the House of the Mouse, Disney World, at the simply wonderful Carib Royal Resort.
Do enjoy these racks. Obviously, we're so used to seeing players run the table, but when the balls are a little bit messy, it's always quite interesting who gets the better hook or who plays the clever kick shot, because it doesn't last for long. You know, you might see 4 or 5 from each player maximum before someone's going to attack the table or gets ball in hand. I would say Sanderson's got the edge here. Elliott's asking to get a ref. I'm not really sure why. I know why it does happen in some instances, but you don't need to worry about Gary Wilson. Snooker boys, well, you can trust them with your life. But I suppose it's better to be sorry, or safe than sorry, Phil, rather.
Yeah, the ref's in there now, perfectly positioned.
Good kick shot, very good kick shot. Again, the cue ball and the yellow one is very close. He's got to make sure he hits a rail, and he has done. Cue ball caught the rail. Well, good luck with this one.
The phrase out of the frying pan into the fryer.
I wouldn't blame him if he could see the purple 5 just to try and roll it onto red 3, because what's the chances of hitting the one ball from there? You just can't get to it, I don't think. The only chance of hitting this one ball is playing off the left rail past the purple 5. You've got to miss the blue 2 off the top rail with a bit of left spin, and it comes down into the middle of the table. Let's have a look. That's what he's playing. Watch the cue ball straighten up, but it hasn't. Yeah, I don't know if he could have tied a ball up there, but if he could have done, maybe that was the move, because Sanderson's got ball in hand now, and it's ball in hand for the match.
He wasn't too far away, going back down table, but there was no contact, and so Sanderson just looking to see how this rack is going to work out.
Yeah, the biggest shot of this rack is when Elliott gets on the blue 2 and he rolls forward for the red 3. He wants to follow the cue ball forward past the potting line of the ball. Well, he's not exactly played the first shot great. Want it to be straighter. Is there a bit of life in this match left for Wilson? Something tells me, Phil, there is, just the way this match has gone.
Yes, exactly. the exchanges that have predated this.
Yeah, this is kind of what I meant. If you don't get the cue ball past the potting line, cue ball's got to come down towards these balls rather than up towards the pink 4. Is he trying to come off the edge of the 7 and spin it round, or will it hit it full in the face? He's going to need a bit here. He'll take that. It's one good shot, this. One good shot to get on that purple 5.
You know, there's a phrase in Q Sports, he put in a quick one. You can see there, the cue action, not smooth, and the backswing a little too fast for his own good. Symptomatic of the situation. Now what an opportunity for Wilson to pull another rack back and to crank up the pressure even more.
The cue ball though, he's lost the cue ball. He's gonna have to play safe. Oh, he's gone for a super thin cut. Couldn't control the cue ball. Crashed into the 8. Well, let me tell you, this is horrible. It really is. I wouldn't blame him for playing safe, but he's gone for the pot. He's missed it. He's left a similar shot to Elliott. It might actually be a little bit worse for Elliott because the cue ball is going to be further away from the 9.
Can't believe he knocked that 7 in. He's the kind of player who places such great store on wide ball control when he doesn't achieve it. Rather than back away a little and think about what's needed, he just, as if to punish himself, goes for a pot that is extremely low percentage.
Yeah, and he got down super quick on the 8, so he didn't even really think about the 8 ball. He was frustrated, wasn't he? He's trying to chop this ball in. Look at this for a shot he's attempting. Oh, that is a good shot. Oh, he's just caught the point. If he doesn't catch the point, he's won the match.
You would still fancy Elliott Sanderson to knock it in. If he does so, hear the roar.
Well, I can assure you, the overhead camera that I've got in front of me, this is very thin. It's actually not end at world playing the bank shot, as crazy as it sounds. It's super thin, this ball. But it is a shot, and it's a shot for the match. This to beat Gary Wilson.
And the hesitation, the backing away from the shot, the walking around the table tells you exactly how he's feeling. Calamitous. Doesn't even require Wilson to complete the formality of knocking in the 9 ball. The match continues. The shout, we'll have to wait for it. We might not hear it at all because Gary Wilson now trails only 8-7.
Yeah, I could see how thin that was. The angle was deceiving us, but let me tell you, that was so thin. I think the bank shot was the correct shot. I think when you look at the likes of, you know, the top 4 players on the circuit, I think they played the bank there, Phil. I really do believe that.
So as you said at the time, Carl, catching the point with the cue ball proved very costly indeed. The loser of this match will go to the one-loss side, of course, to take on Sergio Lagunas Moreno. The victor will move into winners' qualification and more than likely play David Al-Qaedi next.
Where's the one going? Because it's going to be dry. Well, he's left a pot, but because the cue ball is near the pocket, I don't know if he can stun the cue ball dead, because that's the only way he's going to get on the blue too. Well, it looks like he can get his cue in the pocket to play this little stun shot. Well, I'm glad that one didn't go in that pocket. I hate it when they fluke the ball, Phil. It winds me up, especially at such a crucial time. I'd hate for this match that's been going on nearly 2 hours to be decided by a fluke. I know it happens in all cue sports, but boy, it winds me up.
Yeah, flukes are great viewing, aren't they?
No,
but
they're not good viewing, Phil.
No, they are if you're a neutral, but if you're on the receiving end, oh, dagger to the heart, especially late on at a crucial stage of a match like this.
Yeah, just with what's happened between both players in this match, I can sort of accept kicking or jumping a fluke because, you know, you're kicking out of a snooker and you're not quite sure where the balls are going to go. I can accept that, but I hate it when you go for a pot and it goes in the other pocket. They're the ones that do your head in.
Crisp bank from Wilson. Now the table there for him to make it hill-hill.
Is he playing for the 3 in the same pocket? Had to cue that one nicely. Got to really get through the left-hand side of the cue ball, which he did. Well, we said it, didn't we? We said 8-6. You're still in the match. All the balls are there. Get on the 7 ball nicely from the green 6. Make sure you land nice on the 8. 8 to 9 is not difficult. It's literally about the green 6 to the 7 ball this for Gaz. Are we going to see a final 1-rack shootout thriller?
After 2 runaways on this table earlier today, resulting in very comfortable wins for Fraser Patrick and Carlo Biardo. This has been a dogfight. But there was no danger of Wilson dogging it there. Elliott Sanderson, will he regret that missed 9 ball? It wasn't easy, I know, but that was what stood between Sanderson and victory. Now he has to win the decider, and of course Wilson breaks. Enjoyable, Cole. Not high standard, but enjoyable.
Yeah, but that's what's made it enjoyable. The fact that both players have struggled, had opportunities, played good racks, played good safeties, missed balls, missed opportunities is why we are down to the final rack between a pool player and a snooker player.
Just in terms of the progress of the tournament, basically round 1 is over. The last winner, Marcel Price of Wales, beating Wade Morley 9-7. Now we're concentrating fully on round 2 on the winner's side and loser's side pool as well.
Always scares me as well when it's hill-hill. I'd hate to see it won by a golden, just because I like to see both players get opportunities at the table, and we're going to see that. I think Elliott's going to get this one back. I don't like this rollout. I'm not saying he had loads of options. Didn't really get a long time to look at the table, but this has got to go back. It has to go back, Phil.
Surely the first law of rollouts is not to make it too difficult for yourself.
Yeah, you're sort of trying to visualise a shot of where there's a kick safe of something, but he's got to get the cue ball right close to the one, otherwise the cue ball squirts away. He didn't play that, you see. It was too difficult what he left himself. He was trying to go rail first. The shot he left himself there was far too difficult. All top Q Sport players who play any Q Sport, they know that. That's why Gaz looked and said, carry on, Elliott, you've made a mistake. Now, can Gary Wilson, who about 2 weeks ago was playing in the Crucible Theatre, knock these 8 balls in?
He's got the nerve to do it, there's no doubt about that. Has he got the skill and the shot selection knowledge?
I wanted to come a bit straighter because ideally he wants to play the red 3, pink 4 combo. This angle's quite steep to hold. You'd have to cue this one sweep. I think he still can. I think he can play it just above left centre with a little bit of English and just come past the 9 ball. If not, he's going to be sending the cue ball this route. Needs a bit of luck. Oh, he's got it. But the purple 5 has tied up, Phil. Look at the brown 7.
Yeah, wait until you hold your hand up in apology. Until they've all stopped rolling and you can assess the situation.
Look at the face of Sanderson. Is there a player on the circuit who tells you through his body language how he feels? I would say not.
Maybe that's why he doesn't play poker.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a game that he needs to stay well away. So Gaz, he's trying to draw into the 7. He's missed it. I think he was trying to draw into the 7.
Molly mulls over this quickly. Jason Shaw through. No sweat. 9-1 over Kwo Ushan Wei. Verdict call?
He's got the hook, but at this level, I'm not sure how good the hook is going to be. Just because the cue ball and the 5 is close to the rail, so whatever Elliott's trying, he might be trying to draw back in behind the 7. Yeah, he's played a good shot. Because the 2 balls were so close to each other and close to the rail, it's easier to control that kick shot. I'm not saying Gary Wilson played a bad shot or anything. I'm just telling you what Elliott was left with. He could control the kick a lot easier. Well, decision time, Phil here. I don't know what the shot is. I'm as nervous as these two.
There is a safety net. The one lost side, but they want to be in winners' qualification. It makes the process of the tournament so much less nerve-wracking and exhausting.
He's played the snooker safety. He's dumped it to the side rail, as if it's a black ball shootout. Elliott's trying to use the 8 ball. It's going to creep out though. Will Gaz play a similar shot? I don't see why he wouldn't. He might bump it up and down actually. Maybe that's the shot. Yeah, he's bumping it up and down. Oh, he's played this lovely. If it misses the 7 as well, which it has, I don't know why Gaz was shaking his head there. I thought he played a good shot.
Just avoided the double kiss. Just.
Well, Sanderson is in a world of trouble here. He's trying to look at the kick shot below the 8. If he can see the 5, I don't know if he can just bank the 5 off the rail and try and hit the 7 full. That keeps the 5 where the 7 is, that area, and try and get distance with the cue ball. I just don't know. Elliott won't feel good, but I can assure you, Phil, you have to cue these well now. Wilson knows this. Spoke to him last night at dinner. He said he likes the setup of these tables. Oh, it's in the middle of the pocket. Very, very nicely cued.
Do you remember the story I was telling you about in Vietnam? He was telling me he's got the yips. Rubbish. When you can cue a ball like that, as well as that under pressure, that does not represent the yips to me. It looks as though the shouter is going to be whispering after this. Whispering, why did I miss the 9?
What could have been for Elliott Sanderson? He had the match in one hand.
It is subdued Sanderson. It is Wilson, the winner, by the narrowest possible margin. Gary Wilson defeats Elliott Sanderson by 9 racks to 8. For him, winner's qualification awaits against maybe David Al-Qaedi, who is 7-3 ahead at the moment against Benji Buckley. Wilson, though, definitely goes through. More big time pool on this table coming your way shortly.
I'd have loved to have seen America versus the Philippines, Europe versus the Philippines.
And I think there will be the winner of the Moscone against Asia or against the Philippines at some stage. There's a different tournament.
There's definitely something on another event to do with Asia versus the Moscone Cup winner, and that's all part of the bigger plan.